Love is blind lovers. I'm finally doing my story about Uche spilling the tea. Sorry it was a little bit late. I was going to film this yesterday, but I had an issue where my plug, it bent. And so it would no longer fit in the plug for, this is a MacBook. And so I had to wait until today to go to the store to buy these pliers so I can move it back in place and film again. I left this on because I'm going to return it because I am cheap. Okay, so let's get into the tea. Just to refresh you guys, Uche has been fighting for his life on the gram to make himself look good and to make Lydia look 50 shades of crazy. So let's just dive right into everything he's been saying and think about how it was portrayed on the show versus how allegedly it all went down behind the scenes, including his meetup with Aaliyah. So we saw in episode 7 when he went out to lunch with Aaliyah and she asked for him back and she told him she could see herself marrying him and whatnot. He said that it was over because she had ghosted him and his parents went through some true, real suffering and they never left each other. So he wants to go through suffering with his partner without his partner leaving. So deal breaker. And so someone in his Ask Me Anything asked him, Uche, why did you tell Aaliyah it was over? Was she not what you expected looks wise? And then okay, before we get into Uche's response, guys, just because Uche has dated a Latina woman in the past doesn't mean he's not attracted to Black women. This seems to be something that I'm getting a lot in comment section, that he only likes like non-Black women just because he dated Lydia. And I feel like it's unfair to claim that until you have proper proof. A lot of people are open to dating people from all kinds of backgrounds, myself included. So I don't love when people put these kinds of assumptions on people. You know, I can't say that he only dates non-Black women because I haven't seen it. And Aaliyah is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous girl. Okay. To me, of this season, she's the prettiest girl of the season. So I just can't imagine Uche not finding her attractive and being like, oh, let me make an excuse to no longer date you, because she gave him plenty of reasons to no longer date her. Like, she was giving unhinged. Okay. So anyway, he responded with that "It's over between us" is a post-production soundbite. At lunch, we both forgave each other. We held hands and shared our first kiss on the mouth. Then we agreed to date outside the show. So there you go. To all of you who claim that Uche could not possibly like Aaliyah because he dated Lydia in the past and Lydia is not Black, there you go. He is and was attracted to Aaliyah and he dated her after the show. So if you watch my episode 7 recap, you'll see that I said that Uche follows a pattern with all of his relationships, because in that same episode, when he's trying to make Lydia look 50 shades of crazy, he tells Aaliyah that he broke up with her like twice. Like, there's a time he broke up with her because she was quote unquote violating his privacy. And then he took her back because she was going through a hard time in her life. Someone had passed away. And then when she started feeling better and finding friends and whatnot, he dumped her again. And then I think there's another story of taking her back. Like, he's very makeup to breakup. For someone who claims you have to go through everything and never break up like his parents, he loves a good makeup to breakup situation. So keep an eye on that. Like, he says one thing, but lives his life in a completely different manner. So I'm not surprised to hear that he got into this, like, you know, whirlwind situation with Aaliyah and they couldn't quit each other. Now, the next person asked Uche, what is your current relationship with Aaliyah? And he simply says that they are on good terms. Remember, he just said that they dated, they kissed on the mouth, but it just didn't work out, though it did end on good terms, which is always a great thing. Now, the next person asked, did you cheat on Lydia? Because that is something that Lydia had accused him of doing on episode 7 of the show. And mind you, as far as the episode airing, he didn't deny it. He didn't defend himself. I'm not saying that he didn't do that in person, because remember, these shows are edited. He very well could have, and all of that could have been cut out. But let's take a look at him defending himself on the gram. So he defends himself by throwing her under the bus, basically. Uche says, no, Lydia and I were never together. We dated for a short time and we're both seeing other people. In the casting process, we were asked to disclose who our most recent relationships were with. If she believed we were in one, she would have disclosed my name or photo and the producers wouldn't have allowed both of us on the show. Well, here's the thing. I do believe that they had a situationship going, and I also believe that he probably led her to believe that it was more than that, especially with like bringing her around his friends and all the dates and the dog and just all sorts of things. Um, and not only that, but I find it rather strange that he's saying this now. But when he was in the pods with Aaliyah, after Aaliyah had found out the secret, what happened? He was crying. He was like, oh, yes, Lydia and I dated for a bit, but she's such a great person. I don't want Milton to hurt her. I don't think Milton's ready for marriage. And he's crying about this girl that he's now trying to make us believe he never had anything serious with, anything real with. Like, are you kidding me? Like, when I think of people I dated casually versus people I dated, there's a big difference. Like, if I dated someone casually and like something like this happened, I don't think like, oh, I'm gonna like cry about how great this person is. I'll be like, yeah, he's a great guy, and like hopefully that works out. But like the way he was crying over Lydia to Aaliyah and how he wants her to have a good love life and not be hurt by Milton, it felt like there was more to the history than that. And he says it's a short while, but it sounded like they were on and off for at least a year or something like that, or something like it's lasted until March of this year, and I believe of the year they were filming, and I believe they started the year prior. So to me, that's a bit longer than he wants to let on. So either he was manipulating Aaliyah with the whole good guy act or nice guy act by crying about Lydia, or he's lying now when he claims that she was pretty much nothing in his life. I'm not sure which of the two I believe, but something is definitely off there. Now, another person asked Uche why he did Love is Blind, and he responded by saying that he thought it would be a fun experience. No, I didn't think it was the best option to find a wife, but I was open to finding a connection that could lead to marriage in a very unique way, which I think is a very nice response for it. Like it shows that he has a healthy level of skepticism. I don't know why I was going to say skepticism about the process. And like, obviously 5 seasons in now, we know that it doesn't work 100% of the time. So he wasn't going in it with stars in his eyes. He was going in it knowing that it could potentially not work out. But if it did work out, how cool and unique would it be to say that you found your wife on like a show like this, a really popular show on Netflix? Anyway, guys, I want to know how you feel about the tea that he spilled there in regards to his situation with Aaliyah. Are you surprised to hear that after that really tense lunch meeting, they wound up dating, kissing on the mouth, holding hands and whatnot? Like both of them just seem so chaotically obsessed, like not with each other, but with chaos itself. Like, I don't know. I don't like that, to be honest with you. And are you surprised to hear that he and Aaliyah are on good terms? How do you think that's going to play out at the reunion this season? And what do you think about him denying cheating on Lydia, but not only denying cheating on her, but denying ever had a serious sort of a relationship with her, claiming that it was just a fling and nothing else? I don't know. To me, I feel like that's kind of hurtful, but I digress. I want to know you guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.